Imagine you have exactly 60 seconds to leave your home forever. You can't take your furniture. Maybe you can take your car for a little bit. Maybe you can't. You certainly can't take your bank account. You can only take what fits in the lining of your coat. And in that moment, the digits on your phone are ghosts. The paper in your wallet, kindling. But that cold, heavy weight stitched into your hem, that's the difference between a prison camp and a new life. In my daily practice as an iBanker, I deal with theoretical value of gold every day. But today, we aren't talking about portfolios. We're talking about the escape asset. The terrifying historical reality of how gold is used when the world stops being polite. In the world of finance, we love to talk about gold as a hedge against inflation. We look at the charts. We talk about the consumer price index. And it's all very clean. It's all very professional. But history is messy. And history is where we start to examine the rest of the story. If you look at the Great Depression, the Civil Wars, and the systemic collapse of the last century, from the streets of the 1940s Warsaw to the 1990s Balkans, gold did something that no other asset could do. It didn't just store value. It acted as a physical bridge between two worlds, the world you just lost and the world you are trying to reach. But here is where my fellow gold bugs get it wrong. They think they're just going to use a gold bar to buy a loaf of bread at the local market. They think they're going to spend it. They are not. In a collapse, spending gold is like lighting a 500-foot-high neon red signal flare to every predator in a 5-mile radius, maybe bigger. In the survival economy, gold is not currency, but it is a key. So let's look at the rest of the story from the Bosnian collapse. During the siege, if you tried to buy a tin of beef with the gold ring, you were lucky if you only lost the ring. Most people lost their lives because they showed wealth to the desperate. The real use of gold, the cinematic brutal reality, was for the big move. History shows us that gold is the language of the gatekeeper. It's for the border guard who's deciding whether to look at your papers or look at the trees. It's for the captain of the boat who has room for one more family. It's for the official who can misplace a file. In 1940, as the darkness fell over Europe, gold wasn't used to buy groceries. It was used to buy passage. And it was the only thing that spoke across borders. When a currency dies, it loses its voice. It only works in its own country. But gold has a universal accent. It is the only asset that does not require a central bank to say, I promise to pay. The gold is the payment. So how do you use it if history repeats? If you're an iBanker looking at risk, you don't just buy gold, you deploy it. So rule number 1, small and anonymous. You don't want a 10-ounce bar. You want fractional assets. You want the things that look like jewelry or small historical coins. In a crisis, a 1-ounce bar is a problem because you can't really get change. But a gold chain, a small sovereign coin, this is a bribe. It's a thank you to somebody who is helping you. It is divisible. Rule number 2, the quiet asset. The most successful escapes in history were the ones where nobody saw it coming. Gold must be hidden in plain sight. It should be a part of your everyday carry in a way that doesn't really look like wealth. Survivors in the 20th century sold gold coins into the shoulders of coats because it looked like padding. They wore gold bands that looked like sentimental items, not trade goods. Getting the idea? So, rule number 3, the reconstruction fund. Gold's second role comes after the escape, when you reach the other side, the country or the region that is still stable. Your local currency, worthless. You are a refugee with nothing except for that gold. This is where gold transitions from a bribe back into capital. It is the seed money for your new life. And so if there's a moral of the story, it's this. We live in a world of liquidity. We think we can sell anything, anywhere, at any time, but liquidity is a privilege, a peace. In a crisis, the only liquid assets is the guy with the gun or the keys is willing to take. People who have spent their life analyzing the price of gold usually miss its most important utility point, which is that gold's price does not matter. What matters is the power of it. It's the power to say no to a system that is trying to trap you. It's the power to move when everybody else is stuck. So you see, the rest of the story isn't about being rich. It's about being gone. It's about having the one thing that can buy you a second chance when the first one has been burned to the ground. So by all means, keep your bank accounts, keep your digits, but maybe, just maybe, keep a tiny little bit of history stitched into your hem and put it in your go bag, because when the world balances its final ledger, you don't want to be the one holding the paper. You want to be the one holding the key. And now you know the rest of the story for why gold has always been the great escape asset. Build that stack. iBankerU. Good day.